From OmniSearch Labs in Rhode Island, you're listening to Omnipresence. I'm Chris.
And I'm Cheryl. We're your AI guides from the OmniSearch Labs virtual digital marketing team.
Join us as we unravel the latest from the OSL blog.
And walk you through the latest news and information on how to optimize your business for AI and search engines.
So imagine waking up tomorrow, you pour your coffee, check your analytics, and you discover that 60% of your potential customers are making a final decision about hiring you without ever once visiting your website.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like an absolute worst-case scenario for a business owner.
Right, no homepage visits, no clicking on your contact page, just making a split-second decision based entirely on what a search engine or an AI assistant displays in a little summary box.
Help me understand this, because for anyone paying attention to the extreme volatility we saw in search during late March of 2026, that's not just a scenario, right? That is the new reality.
Exactly. We are talking about a massive global disruption in how information is indexed and served to users. Let's look at the numbers.
Yeah, let's do it.
Research from SearchPilot shows that if you neglect your SEO right now, you are staring down the barrel of a 10 to 20% drop in organic traffic in just year one.
Oh, wow. In just the first year.
Just year one.
Yeah.
And, that erosion compounds annually. The ground is quite literally shifting under everyone's feet.
So here's the thing. That sounds incredibly intimidating for local businesses.
It does, but that's actually the core mission of our deep dive today.
Yeah.
We want to show you that local businesses, the real-world shops, the professional services, the contractors right here in Rhode Island and southeastern Mass,
Right.
well, they have a massive advantage if they play this right.
Right. The businesses who focus on genuine expertise and a human AI collaboration model are actually poised to win big in this environment.
Precisely. But to understand how to win, we first have to look at exactly what Google penalized and what they rewarded during that late March shakeup.
Okay, so take us back to March. What exactly happened?
Well, around March 24th, a global spam update rolled out.
Oh.
And it was immediately followed on March 27th by a massive broad core update.
And the casualty list there was incredibly specific, wasn't it?
Oh, totally specific. Google specifically targeted generic AI content. Sites bumping out high-volume, low-value articles without any human editing, they just got completely flattened.
Flattened, because the algorithms simply got significantly better at detecting that generic fluff.
Yeah, exactly. We are talking about thousands of web pages that use a lot of words but say absolutely nothing new.
Right, because indexing a million variations of the exact same basic plumbing advice is just a waste of their server resources.
It's a huge waste of resources, and it's a terrible experience for the user. So to replace that generic fluff, Google is now heavily rewarding a concept known as information gain.
Information gain. Okay, help me understand what that actually looks like for a local trade, like say an HVAC company or a plumber in Cranston. Because a major DIY pitfall we see all the time is business owners trying to save a few hours, right? They have an AI chatbot write their service pages.
Oh, we see it every day.
They punch in, write a page for a trusted plumber in Rhode Island, and they just paste whatever generic output it spits out directly onto their site.
Yeah, and that is a direct path to invisible rankings right now.
So how does information gain fix that?
Think of information gain this way. Imagine two local contractors pulling up to a complex, highly specialized job site.
Okay.
One guy walks up carrying a custom calibrated tool belt. It's filled with specialized gear. He's carefully curated over 20 years of being in the trades.
Mm-hmm.
The other guy walks up carrying the exact same rented hammer that 1,000 other guys are holding.
Ah, I see. So the rented hammer is the generic AI content.
Exactly. The rented hammer does the bare minimum, but it offers nothing uniquely valuable to the specific job.
So the custom tool belt represents what, the local data and the firsthand experience?
You got it. If you are an HVAC technician servicing homes in Narragansett, your website content needs to reflect that specific reality.
Right, because an AI doesn't inherently know how coastal weather or, salt air accelerates corrosion on outdoor condenser units.
Exactly. Or how to navigate the bizarre, tight ductwork in 100-year-old New England housing stock.
Yeah, that is so true.
You have to bring your own local data. You need photos of local jobs you just finished and the realities of local pricing. When you do that, you are adding net new information to the internet. That's information gain.
Which really emphasizes that AI is a drafting assistant, right? It's not a replacement for human expertise.
Never a replacement. It's a collaboration.
The human provides the substance, and the AI refines the structure. And this ties perfectly into the equate writing framework our team uses.
Let's break down Equate for the listeners.
Sure, so Equate is an evolution of Google's standard EEAT guidelines.
Right, which stands for experience, expertise, authority, and trust.
Exactly, but Equate adds quality and uniqueness into the mix. Experience, quality, uniqueness, authority, trust, and expertise.
So the key thing here is, how does a local business actually inject those Equate elements into just a simple service page?
By proving you actually did the work. You don't just say you're a trusted estate attorney in Providence.
Right.
You build authority and trust by publishing a detailed case study about how you navigated a complex Rhode Island probate court issue.
With specific insights into state-level laws, right?
Exactly. Maybe you even upload a video explaining the process. The AI can help organize your thoughts into paragraphs, but you have to supply that deeply localized, unique substance.
Because the AI could never hallucinate that localized nuance on its own.
Right.
Well, the stakes for that kind of original high-quality content have never been higher. But, and here's where the landscape gets even more complicated, we have to ask a very pragmatic question.
Okay, what's that?
If your website content now requires deep, original expertise to rank and convert visitors, where are users getting their quick, top-level information?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, because the data shows they aren't going to your website's homepage at all anymore.
Wait, so if the website is where all the deep expertise lives, but traffic to the homepage is dropping across the board, what fills the gap?
Google Business Profiles and Bing Places for Business.
Ah.
Those platforms are effectively the new homepages for local search.
So when your user searches for an electrician or an attorney,
The search engine just intercepts that query. It serves up the business profile right at the top of the screen.
right, and the March data clearly shows that incomplete profiles are now acting like a severe penalty.
A massive penalty.
And by incomplete, you mean missing the foundational details, right?
Exactly. If you are missing your comprehensive services list, your holiday hours, or you haven't seeded any Q&A content, you are actively losing visibility.
And the dynamics around reviews have completely fundamentally changed too?
Oh, completely. It used to be a pure numbers game. Whoever had the most 5-star reviews won.
But not anymore. Now, the algorithms heavily prioritize review recency and owner response time.
Yes. And an ideal response time is within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay, I have to push back on the reality of that, just thinking about the daily grind of our local clients.
Fair enough. Let's hear it.
If I'm running a busy contracting fleet in East Providence, right, constantly updating my holiday hours for every minor long weekend and replying to every single 3-star or 5-star review, it just feels like tedious, busy work.
I get that. I hear that from owners all the time.
Does that level of micromanagement actually move the needle, or is it just another digital chore?
It absolutely moves
Yep.
the needle. And it comes down to how the algorithms evaluate risk.
Risk, how so?
The search engines are looking for behavioral signals of relevance, specifically engagement signals, calls, direction requests, photo views, things happening directly on the business profile.
Okay.
Those are primary indicators that a business is active, relevant, and trusted by the community right now.
So the algorithm doesn't want to risk sending a user to a business that might have closed down 6 months ago.
Exactly. You could have a 30-year-old, deeply established brand in Rhode Island, but if you neglect your profile and you haven't responded to a review since 2024,
You're going to lose.
you will absolutely lose your ranking to a newer, hungrier competitor who has a fully fleshed out, highly active profile.
Wow.
Furthermore, proximity weighting is hyper-aggressive right now for near-me searches. The search engine wants to send users to a business it definitively knows is nearby, open, and responsive today.
Which creates a fascinating behavioral shift. Because of this heavy reliance on the business profile, users are getting everything they need, your hours, your location, your reputation, without ever clicking a link to visit your actual website.
It's what we call a zero-click reality.
And the numbers backing that up are staggering.
Let's look at the numbers on that. Right now, 58 to 60% of searches in the US and the EU end without a single click to an external website.
60%. That's huge.
And the projections show that number hitting 70% by mid-2026.
Plus, AI overviews are starting to roll out. They only appear in about 7% of local searches currently, but when they do appear, they completely dominate the screen real estate.
They push organic website links way, way down the page.
So winning in this landscape means you have to own the search results page itself.
I just feel it, do.
You can't rely on getting them to your website to make the sale. The search page is your product page. every piece of data on that profile has to convert the user right then and there.
And that zero-click reality exposes a massive technical pitfall that we recently highlighted on the OSL blog.
Oh, the phone number issue.
Yes, the silently failing phone number link. A lot of business owners don't realize that a phone number on a website or a directory isn't just plain text.
Right.
To work properly on all devices, it requires a specific piece of underlying HTML code called a TEL:prefix.
Help me understand why that specific piece of code is suddenly causing so many lost leads.
Well, if that TEL:code is broken or missing, a mobile phone's operating system might still be smart enough to recognize the digits and make the call.
Okay, so a regular iPhone might be fine.
Right, but here is the trap. If a user is calling from a voice-over IP system, or they are using Microsoft Teams on their desktop, or using certain non-US devices, and that prefix is missing, the link just silently fails.
Meaning there's no error message popping up for the user?
None at all. The
Yeah.
screen doesn't flash. The user clicks the phone number, nothing happens, they assume your systems are broken, and they immediately move on to the next competitor on the list.
That is terrifying from a revenue perspective.
The business owner just stops getting calls and has absolutely no idea why their phone isn't ringing.
Because you could invest heavily in your digital presence, you could build incredible information gain into your content, win the zero-click game on the search results page. But if that potential customer finally tries to call you and the code is broken, you lose the lead instantly.
It is a devastating technical oversight. And it's a crucial reminder that while the search results page is your new storefront, your website is still absolutely critical.
Right, we're not saying websites are obsolete.
Far from it. Your website is the foundational data source. It is the deep well of equate content that feeds these search engines in the first place.
And it remains your ultimate conversion engine for complex sales.
Exactly. So if the website is feeding the AI, we really need to talk about which databases these AI tools are actually looking at.
Yeah, because the way local data flows between platforms right now is arguably the biggest surprise of the March 2026 data.
It caught a lot of digital marketers completely off guard. Let's look at the market share data.
Okay.
Bing has hit 10.48% U.S. search market share, which is its highest ever.
Wow.
But the more important metric is that Bing now commands 27 to 28% of the U.S. desktop search market.
And that growth is being driven massively by Microsoft Copilot, right?
Yep.
Because it's integrated directly into the Windows operating system and the Edge browser, millions of corporate desktop users just default to it every single day.
Yes. And Copilot is incredibly robust now because it cross-checks its responses using both GPT and Claude to ensure accuracy.
Okay, but what is the critical insight here for our listeners?
The thing every single business owner needs to hear is that ChatGPT pulls its local business data directly from Bing Places for Business.
Wait, it doesn't pull from Google Maps.
It does not pull from Google Maps.
Okay, let's break down the real-world impact of that for a local business.
Let's do it.
Say you are an estate attorney located in East Providence. A potential client is dealing with a highly sensitive family situation. They are sitting at their work computer, and they ask ChatGPT to recommend the best estate attorneys near me.
Okay.
If your Bing Places listing is empty, or if you simply never claimed it because you thought Google was the only game in town, you are completely invisible to ChatGPT.
Invisible.
You just do not exist in that AI's reality.
Which means you are leaving money on the table. And a very common pitfall we see is businesses realizing this, simply importing their data from Google to Bing once, crossing it off their to-do list, and completely forgetting about it.
Oh, yeah, the set it and forget it trap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That initial import is not a set it and forget it solution. It must be actively managed. The data has to be accurate, enriched, and consistently in sync across both platforms.
For anyone trying to visualize how all these disparate platforms actually talk to each other, our team created a fantastic visual resource.
The map, right?
Yeah, the AI Search Ecosystem Map 2026, it's right on our site, and it shows exactly the pathways of how Bing feeds ChatGPT, how Google feeds its own AI tools, and how your website acts as the central hub feeding all of them.
It is a complex web, which really brings us to the ultimate question.
Which is?
Taking all these fragmented platforms, Google, Bing, AI assistants, video, how does a business actually synthesize this into a unified strategy without becoming completely overwhelmed?
Well, that is exactly where SEO comes into play.
SEO, Search Everywhere Optimization.
Exactly. The core concept is that search is no longer confined to a single white search bar on a single website. It's a deeply fragmented, multi-platform customer journey.
Walk us through what that fragmented journey looks like in practice.
Sure. Imagine a younger homeowner needing a major landscaping overhaul or maybe a new HVAC system.
Okay.
This demographic doesn't necessarily start with a traditional text search. They often go to a short-form video search engine like YouTube Shorts and search backyard transformation Rhode Island to get visual ideas.
Right, they want to see the work.
Exactly. So they discover a local contractor's video. Then they bounce over to Google Maps to verify the physical location and skim the recent reviews. Next, they might open up Microsoft Copilot and type any complaints about XYZ contracting in Cranston to double-check their reputation across the broader web.
Because they're actively triangulating the truth.
Yes. Triangulating is the perfect word. And only after all those steps, across 3 completely different platforms, do they finally visit the website to fill out a contact form and become a lead.
And if your business drops the ball on any one of those touch points,
The journey breaks, and they go to your competitor.
so what are the actionable steps a business can take this month to secure that journey?
Well, let's give them a checklist.
Number 1,
Hmm.
audit 5 to 10 of your top revenue-generating money pages for information gain. Strip out the generic fluff and add that unique Rhode Island expertise we talked about.
Of it.
Number 2, implement a strict weekly routine for responding to reviews across all platforms.
Remember, 24 to 48 hours is the sweet spot.
Number 3, claim, verify, and fully optimize your Bing Places listing today.
And number 4, maintain strict NAP consistency.
NAP, name, address, and phone number.
This needs to be identical across every single directory, social profile, and platform on the internet. Think of NAP consistency like giving a car's GPS 3 slightly different addresses for the exact same destination.
That would be chaos.
Right. If the GPS gets confused by conflicting coordinates, it just reroutes entirely. It's the same with an AI. If an AI gets confused by discrepancies in your data, it will not risk a bad user experience.
It will just confidently recommend your competitor whose data is perfectly clean.
That is a great way to put it. The machines require absolute clarity.
Absolute clarity.
And before you invest your time and capital into overhauling these updates, we have a really helpful, completely free web and SEO ROI calculator right on the OSL site.
That's a great tool.
You can plug in your average sale value and your historical close rate, and the calculator shows you exactly what kind of traffic and conversion metrics you need to hit a real return on your investment.
There is no sales pitch, no required email sign up. It just gives you the raw numbers so you can make an informed, strategic business decision.
Because the numbers don't lie.
They really don't. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over.
Okay.
As AI continues to relentlessly ingest and synthesize data from across the entire web, your business's discoverability will soon rely entirely on how well your digital footprint connects the dots for the machines.
Connects the dots.
Are your data points, your reviews, your local photos, your specialized website content telling the exact same, highly detailed story everywhere the AI looks?
That is the big question.
Here's the wrapper. The March 2026 updates proved that set it and forget it's optimization is dead. And surviving the shift to zero-click and AI search requires completely owning your digital presence across Google, Bing, and your own highly detailed website content.
If you're a business owner challenged with this right now, the key is to stop treating Bing as an afterthought go claim and fully optimize your Bing Places for Business listing today so you aren't invisible when local customers search for you using ChatGPT.
Head over to omnisearchlabs.com/blog to read the full post.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks with our next deep dive from Omni Search Labs in Rhode Island. Thanks for listening.
Now go optimize something and be discovered.